Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. Welcome to the month of July. Sorry, I got a little pause because I was just making sure it was getting recorded. I just recorded a whole reading and it didn't get recorded. Anyway, not gonna shuffle. I have my cards laid out. So, yes, we're just gonna go through astrology as I speak with the cards. Um, did I shuffle the card? Alright, I'll have to take out this card again. Fine. Cool. It's okay. So, Libras, yes. Um, it's time to get out of the shadows of Libra. It's time to get out of the me energy and to spread your wings and to connect. And there's a lot of energy about starting a family. There's a lot of energy about starting a new relationship. There's a lot of energy about deepening your connections. We had the full moon in Capricorn for you guys in your fourth house, and fourth house is about the foundation. It's about the home. So a lot of you would probably have come out of that full moon saying, I want to move out. You probably have come out of that full moon saying, I want to start a family. You probably would have, some of you would have probably gone down the memory lane and remembered your own childhood, your own home, and your relationship with your parents. But it's been very much connected to these areas of your life. And so, but I feel like at the end of the day, there is a decision that has been made. There is some kind of decision that has been made that has been ongoing for the past 6 months, ever since we had the new moon in Capricorn in January. So I feel like these 6 months, you have been really deciding on something. You've been really going through some healing process. And now as we come to this, it's like there is a decision that has been made or will be made very soon, but this has really got you to end some painful stories and end some painful chapters, and to actually hold on to the vision that you have for yourself going forward. Yeah, I'm just trying to anyway. I also sense there's a lot of this energy that you have around money. There's a lot of probably fears around resources. And I feel like when the Taurus Scorpio axis was activated in the past 1.5 years, you've been really focused about your money and your resources. Now the focus is shifting onto the Aries Libra. For you, it's your Aries is on your 7th and Libra is on your first house. So while the world is going to be a lot about me, you're going to be, of course, also about self-expression, but you're also going to be doing it with another person. For you, this is about understanding yourself through other people. For you, this is about becoming self-aware, learning to heal yourself, take care of yourself through another person, which means that your relationships are going to get very deep. If you're in a place where you have been detached, which I feel you have, a lot of you have been, you won't be able to be detached anymore. You will be asked to open your heart. A lot of you are probably struggling with money stuff, but the more you open your heart and the deeper you go into your connections, the better it's gonna get. I would highly recommend you to actually start meeting people again. If you've been on a break, I would actually recommend you to start sharing your stories, to start meeting people, to start feeling that bond and that connection. A Libra thrives on that. I mentioned this while I was recording and didn't record, that how whenever we look at the pop culture astrology, we always see the Libra as the extra flirty goal, the extra makeup goal, the extra girly. There's just the shadows of the feminine, gossip. is one of the greatest shadows of the feminine, and we see that a lot in the pop culture astrology. But you have to understand that these are the shadows. This is not who truly Libra is. And I feel like because probably some of you might have been tapped into that frequency of the Libra, perceiving Libra like that, you probably have ran away from the gifts of Libra. Okay? The gifts of Libra is that she's a feminine. It is ruled by Venus. When Venus goes retrograde, this energy is going to play big for you. It's happening in your 11th house, and it's going to challenge you if you have been closed off to start connecting with people again. It's going to really, really challenge you to start talking to people again, to start meeting people again, because so much of your growth, your magic happens in connections. You are brilliant at that. It's your magic. It's what you're here to do. What the role of a Libra is to be a diplomat. It's to manage relationships on this earth. But as I said, because of being entrapped in the shadows and having that association with Libra, a lot of you have also kind of like stepped back from the gifts of the Libra. Libra is also about beauty. It's also about home. It's also about relationships, friendships, connections, community. Please meet people. Talk to people. There are people who are probably asking you to meet people in your immediate community. You talk to on probably Instagram, you probably on WhatsApp, but you don't connect to in real life. Share your stories, what you're learning, where you've been. It doesn't have to be always sharing the recognition, always sharing the success, always sharing the ambition. There's a message that's coming very much for a lot of people. It came for Capricorns as well. We have to get out of the boxes of success that we've made. Yeah, you've been very busy and all, but there's something deeper that's happening, because you're going to a certain place. On 17 July, yes, there'll be a new moon in your 10th house in Cancer. But make sure that you're not starting a project that takes you away from people. I hope it takes you towards connections. It takes you towards nourishing yourself through connections. That's the only thing there. Otherwise, it's a very juicy, beautiful energy to start something new. In your career, specifically, if you've been thinking about it. On the same day, we have the Aries, as I said, Aries, Libra. The lunar nodes are shifting their sign from the axis of Taurus, Scorpio to Aries, Libra. And as I said in the start of the beginning, 7th house, 1st house. You have been doing a lot of self-reflection. You know yourself in a very beautiful way. But it's time to start sharing that awareness. Actually, it's time to start getting to know yourself through other people. You guys actually have your spiritual growth happens with people, and it's getting very evident in the next 1.5 years, up until Jan 2025. Specifically right now, your romantic relationship is going to be very deep. You're going to get into a state of, either if you were single, you'll probably be committing. If you are already committed, then probably there's a sense of recommitting. But as with everyone, yes, you're gonna get more clear, you're gonna get more vocal about your needs and wants, but at the same time, you are being asked to go deep in your connections, and the time to detach, it's over. There have been many painful chapters because of which you've closed your heart, but you are being asked to bring that Venetian Libra out. We need this King of Cups energy, the warm, the gooey, the feminine. You crave it. We crave it. Bear with me, it's going to be very quick, because I've already done the reading, so it's just really fresh. I'm just gonna like, I'm just looking at the cards. I'm not even shuffling them, and I'm just reading it. But yes, I do feel like there's been a lot of disappointment. There's been a lot of painful chapters. There's been just a very, very long journey of pain. I feel like a lot of it has to do with your childhood as well, the way you've been growing up, DIYing everything, getting to the hyper independent mode. But we are beginning a new chapter now, and the universe is really prepping you up. Okay. uh, if money is stopping you from really connecting, starting a relationship, starting a family, the universe is really asking you to take that first step. You know how it's like when children are born, they bring their own destiny, they bring their own abundance, their own wealth. You know how when you plant a seed, you hold that vision, and you don't have a guarantee that it'll rain, you don't have a guarantee that it'll grow, but it still grows most of the times. That there has to be, between, I'm talking about this so much these days, but between this extreme, it's just 2%, that 1% when you're really planting the seeds that you're so excited, and when you're harvesting it. But 98% of our life is dedicated to the process of it. Half of it is building, but half of it is, more than half actually sometimes, is actually waiting. It's actually trusting it. I feel like you're getting into this Mother of Pentacles energy, this mother vibe, where you're like, mother is just very unapologetic and fierce about things, about resources. It's like, she's like, do we have food in the pantry for the kids? No. How can I get it? They're hungry, I need to feed them. Unlike the mother, the daughter, the princess, or the maiden energy is like, I don't know if I can check if there's food, and I don't know if it'll happen. But the mother is just, that's the thing about mothers. When someone becomes a mother, there's a sense of fierceness that comes along, a sense of response. There's this, people talk about this mother instinct which just comes, which is just like absolutely fierce and bold. She could just fight anybody with that energy. Feel like you're really shifting. Even if you're not becoming an actual real mother, you're still shifting that energy. You're actually taking responsibility for your money, basically, but for a lot of other things as well. And actually being like, I mean, if you're somebody who's been afraid to open your bank account, check the balance, and just gives anxiety, you will be learning, or you have learned probably already, to actually not be caught up in that anymore, and to actually be like, okay, what really needs to be done, because the priorities have shifted, right? Like, it's not about you anymore. It's not just about you anymore. I feel like there are other things coming in, and this whole thing requires a lot of trust. Yes, you have to trust the resources, the abundance. It'll all show up for you when you really, really, really show up and trust the universe. Okay. We have the current going retrograde later, I think 23rd July. It will bring out the wounds, if you have, which you do, which all of us do have. But because the whole next chapter is involved in opening your heart, opening your life to new energy, a lot of people's energy, it will require you to open your heart, and it can bring up inner child stuff back again to look at if you've never looked at it. But it's just, it's really like, even if, sometimes even if you've worked with it 10,000 times, it can still surface up because it just needs something from us. Instead of being upset about, oh my god, I'm not doing this again, just like understand that there is something that your inner child needs from you, and so what it needs, the moment you give it, it's released. Yeah. And sometimes it can just involve playing, okay? But the time to run away, it's gone, it's done. We're no more detaching ourselves, alright? Let's pull out a card from this deck. It's like, read about the mother archetype. I would highly recommend you just Google mother archetype. Yeah, so whenever there will be lessons around boundaries. Whenever we want to go deep into relationship, opening our heart, boundaries also come up really, really big. So there definitely be lessons around boundaries. Do ask yourself, where do I need to establish better boundaries whenever you feel like I am being recognized. So there has to be discernment in this time when you are actually, your boundaries are being crossed, or you're perceiving it like that because you've been so wounded and hurt. Remember that. And play. That's safe. So many times the inner child healing, connecting to your children as well, right? If you're a mother already, it's all about playing, creating, or giving birth to a new creation. Some of you, it could be like you're not even starting a family, you're probably giving birth to a new creative project. And it's like, you know how people say, my book is my baby. It is. It's like giving birth to a baby because it's all the sacral chakra energy about creating. So for some of you, if it's like, I'm not into, it's still creating. Okay, so yeah, that's for you guys. I really hope it resonates, and if you want to dive deeper with me in my one-on-one containers, then you can check out all the links down below. I have the one-time sessions and I have the option for the 3-month container as well. I have also introduced guidebooks, which are basically personally curated, created, written reports by me to inform you, to share about your personal astrology energy or your human design, whatever you choose to, so that, you know, whenever you feel lost, when you feel disconnected, you can just come back to something. It's a digital print, which I would ideally suggest to you to get it printed and keep it on your coffee table and just pluck it out. Just go through it when you feel disconnected. Yeah. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you next month.